Okay, guys, I'm here to talk to you about the government stealing our children. They're breaking laws, they're doing many things that we're not allowed to do, and they have immunity for it, and nobody's holding them responsible. Not the governors are not doing anything, the state reps are not doing anything, the president is not doing anything about this to prevent these children from being stolen. To me, this is, I would say, probably children kidnapping. I mean, it's a illegal trafficking organization. They make money off of taking our kids, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to law school, and I'm going to get my law degree, and I'm not going to stop until these children have their voices heard. I have been in this situation with, what I'm going with. I'm actually going through it right now. My kids have been stolen by the state. They um, they throw in anything and everything they can to make it seem like something's going on that's not. Um, they write false statements. It's true. Everybody knows it. But only way that we can get anything done in this country is if we, you, me, all stand up and put a stop to it. Other than that, we're gonna have to live through this hell for entirely too much long. I mean, everybody has to stand up and say something. If nobody does, it's just going to keep happening. They're going to keep taking our kids. They're going to keep doing things that is, what I should say is should be held accountable for. This transparency bull crap, I don't agree with it. I think they should come out with all of everything. I think a lot of the DCF or whatever they're called, crap organization to me, St. Francis can go along with it. They don't have the means or the rights to even do the things they do. The only reason why they do have the rights they do is because the government allows it. And I don't think the government should allow it, because in the Constitution it says we have the right to raise our children as see fit. But to everybody else, especially these organizations, they get to tell us how we raise our children. Now, I don't agree with abusing children, doing drugs around children, or none of that for that matter, even drinking too much around the children. But where do they got the right to say that we can do this with our kids or we can do that with our kids? They don't. They really don't. But because of laws, they are given this ungodly amounts of immunity to, so we can't do nothing to them for it. And you know what? I'm holding the governors, the mayors, and you, Mr. Trump, responsible for allowing this to happen. This is something that should not continue in our lives. This is another criteria, just like the blacks movement. You know, finally, Dr. Martin Luther King stood up and kept fighting for what he believed in. And now look, we all have equal rights. But now we're fighting and facing a thing also where mothers have more rights than fathers. That's also ridiculous. It takes two people to make a child. Therefore, it should be equal rights regardless. And there shouldn't be any organization around that should tell us that we can't have our kids, that we're not allowed to do this, that, and the other. Now, I can understand if you're breaking laws, then yeah, they need to be held responsible for it. But the people that are writing these petitions and so on and so forth should be thoroughly looked through their records, and everybody should have access to it. This shouldn't be a thing that's a closed book deal. People should actually be able to know what's going on in their states, in their country. But we're not allowed to because of these dumb immunities that are screwing families over. It's not our fault. We vote. We do our thing. I'm a ex-military guy. I have integrity. And the one thing that they're trying to pin on me, is bizarre. I mean, what do we do? How do we do this? How do we solve this problem? I'll tell you how we solve this problem. We stand up to them and we tell them we're not going to take this no more. And we protest and we keep marching and marching and marching until somebody does something about it. I don't agree to this whatsoever. The only reason why they are doing what they're doing is because we're letting them do it. This is our country. It's not just theirs. They don't get this say so. We all live here. We need to work together. Because if we don't work together, we shall perish together, just like Martin Luther King said. And now, look, what's happening. Our children are being stolen from good parents, and being sold to foster families that end up either adopting them or abusing them. It's bizarre. It's uncanny. I mean, these kids are going through so much tyranny all over the United States, and nobody's doing jack squat about it to actually stand up and say, stop the crap. Okay? These kids need a voice. A GAL is not the kids' voice. He don't know the kids from nothing from Shiloh. I mean, that it's a proven fact. They don't know those kids, but they're going to sit there and represent them. Really, that's stupid. I think it's dumb. I don't think they have any right to represent a child if they have never known the child or the child's best interest. They don't know that, who had done what or who done that. They don't know any of that except on a piece of paper. And that's why I think a child's voice needs to be heard. I think that, yeah, it's wrong to bring them in court, but I think that it needs to be looked into a more substantial amount than what they're doing. I mean, if it doesn't go their way, guess what? They raise hell about it and make your life even more miserable. They make demands and stuff like that, when you're not obligated to do such. But if you don't do it, guess what? They come and take your kids. I'm living through a pretty hard situation right now. My ex-wife, she messed up bad, but she hasn't been held accountable for anything she's done. She was with a meth head and he was beating my kids, and so was she, but they're overlooking it because Kansas is a mother state. Imagine that. I've always been there for my kids. I'm a disabled war veteran. I had a major back surgery. I had a TBI, post-traumatic stress disorder, and none of this, apparently it's bad for me to go fight for my country and have PTSD because she tried to use it against me, and that's actually defamation of character or something of that nature. They can't use nothing against me for my disabilities, but they will try. I have situational anxiety because my kids have been gone. They've been taken by the state. But I think any parent in their right mind would freak out about this. This is not normal. This isn't something kids should go through. I think that it should be taken into a more speedy process, not no 18 months or 16 months or whatever the crap they call it. I don't agree with that. It's more damaging for the children to be away from their parents with some stranger than it is to actually get more visits and be with somebody their loved ones. But they sometimes just don't do that. Right now my mom and dad are trying to fight kinship. They took them from my sister for dumb reasons. And I'm holding all these people responsible. I'm holding you, Trump. I'm holding you responsible. I'm holding the Governor Collier of Kansas, responsible because I've called numerous times since March of last year and nothing's been done about it. They just slough it off like it's nothing, like I'm a nobody. Well, guess what? I'm not a nobody. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to keep making these videos until people start hearing and seeing what's going on. This is nuts. Somebody needs to speak for these kids, and I'm going to do that. I'm with some organizations, Dad's Care 2 and Kansas Family Advisory Network, and they've been working with me about this, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough to stop the things that are going on in this country. Not just Kansas. This is happening all over our country. Why are we letting it happen? It's bizarre. Everybody out there, you guys, we need to stand up. We need to put a stop to this, because if we don't, they're going to keep stealing our kids and selling them for money. And to me, that's legal trafficking of humans. I mean, kids. It's crazy. They get away with it for what reason? Why? Because of money, and that's freaking sick. That should not be a reason to take children, because I think that's exactly the reason why they do it. The more kids they get into the program, the more funds they get from the government to keep their organization going. We stand up, we stop this, that organization goes down the drain because they're not going to get their funds no more. So, America, I'm asking you and everybody, stand up, speak up, and stop this nonsense. Otherwise, it's going to keep going on. All right, well, stay tuned. My name's Andy Shear. I'll talk to you again another time. Thank you.